Hello, welcome back to my One Thread Beauty channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time or if you're returning from the last couple of videos, thank you so much for popping by. My name is Iana Celeste and I'm a holistic pleasure coach, and this is Pleasure Talk Tuesday. So if you haven't seen any of the previous videos, they're all linked down below. But basically the intention of this series is to dive into what pleasure is, how it's beneficial to our self-transformation and self-actualization, how we can receive it and create more opportunities for it in our lives. So each topic, each week that these videos come up, it's going one layer deeper into what I like to call the heart of our pleasure. So the first video was about our sensual awareness, the connection with our physical self. The second video was about our breath and how that creates space and opens up perspectives and slows down thinking so that we can be perceptive and let in other frequencies, let's say. And what are those frequencies? Those frequencies are connections to other people. The frequencies are messages from our surroundings, and the frequencies are coming from our own self, from our what's called our subtle body. And the other frequencies are the things we come into alignment with that we can call more of our divine energies. So one of those energies, which is the topic for today, one of those frequencies is our erotic energy. So let's define that. What is erotic? So I think for the most part, if you step back for 2 seconds, think, okay, how I define the erotic, or how does society usually define erotic? And working with my clients and doing my workshops, the words that come up are sometimes shame, dirty, porn, sex, and the erotic is associated with sex. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but it's like limiting the definition of the erotic and what the erotic is by a shit ton. That's just one aspect of the erotic energy that we all have and that we're all connected to. So erotic comes from Eros. So in Greek mythology, Eros is the divine embodiment of love. So Eros, erotic, it's divine love. But when we sift down a little bit more into what this love is the motivator. Love is this light that we have within all of us, that's within all of creation, this motivation to come alive. We see this in a plant that makes its way through the winter frost during the springtime and pushes through the soil and comes out towards the sun. It knows, it has this energy of wanting to come alive, this innate energy. And we all have that within each and every single one of us. This draw to express, to connect, to love and to be loved and to matter in this world and in our lives in our own unique ways. And where does that come from? It comes from this erotic energy, this seed of creation, the seed energy of creation. And so the erotic is the primal energy of intention. So we are intentional beings. Creation is intentional. Everything that you see has a divine design and is interconnected. The same molecules that are in us are in other planets, in gases and stars, and in other suns in throughout the universe. And that's all this energy of intention that's coming to life, and we're brimming with this energy. Now, how do we connect with it? Well, the erotic intention, creation, it's a state of flow. It flourishes. It lives, it thrives in a state of flow. So when we in our bodies, in our subtle body, when we're rigid, when we're stuck, when we have emotions that are blocked up in us, when our thinking is myopic, we close ourselves off and we make ourselves less fluid. We don't have the space that's carved out within us to receive flow, because we're basically like a dam saying, no, do not enter. So breath, what we talked about last week, that's a practice that we can utilize, an immediate practice that we can utilize to open ourselves up, open the awareness, create the space to receive flow. So what does it sound like? So I did mention earlier that this intention of creation that's within us, that is our primal intentional energy, erotic energy, in our daily lives, we hear it as fear. We hear it as anxiety. We hear the desires that we have, which are at the core of our primal intentional energy of our eroticism. We hear it in the opposite frame that it's coming in. So the intention is love, the intention is expansion, the intention is creation. The intention is flow. Those are all qualities of our erotic energy. But by the time we insert our coding from culture, habits of mind that were imposed on us from family or religion, those all become filters that slow down this high vibrational frequency of our erotic energy, and it slows it down to where it feels like fear, which are lower energy vibrations and frequencies, and it feels like anxiety. And so what we have to ask ourselves, this is what I love to do in my workshops and my online course and with clients, is asking ourselves empowered questions. Facing first the fear, well, actually, the realization is the first step. It's that mindful awareness that something is happening where I'm feeling the fear. You're observing the fear. Let's go with fear as an example. And then it's asking yourself, okay, why am I feeling this fear? How am I feeling it in my body? Okay, I'm feeling it in my heart and my chest. Maybe I'm afraid of losing myself in a relationship. Maybe I'm afraid of getting hurt in a relationship. Why is that? Well, because I want to be loved. I want to love. I want to matter in a relationship. I want to feel connected. Those are deep desires that are from our erotic energy. But the energy that comes from the erotic is this pure energy. So it isn't a desire that comes from ego, like I want to be loved because I can't love myself. The key is loving, finding the love within you, finding the connection within you, and pushing that out. The creation starts in here. To matter, to love, to connect, all of that is within you first, and then it manifests externally. So the erotic energy that we have, this intentional energy, is for us to create and to become aware of and connect to our divine self. Reacquaint ourselves with where we came from and the reality of who we are, the truth of who we are, which is divine, pure love. To come back to that. The erotic energy is saying, come back to this source, come back to me, come back to this single idea that you are pure consciousness and love. Learn that, know that. That's where the pleasure comes from. And in doing that, you begin to expel that energy outward or reflect it outward. And that's when you bring things back into you, manifest. So this erotic energy is super powerful. And yes, this erotic energy, because it thrives in a state of flow, so does our sexual energy thrive in a state of flow. And so these two aspects of creative energy, our physical, the most physical creative act we have, and our most energetic creative selves are combined, when combined in this sexual intimacy or intimate spaces with yourself or with a partner. They magnify one another. And so it's so beautiful to be able to connect in breath, connect in awareness, open yourself up to this erotic energy, to the sexual energy, and bring intention into your sexual act, into the intimacy that you create for yourself and with another person. And so this is where we find a pleasure. The pleasure in first coming to connect with ourselves, reconnecting with our divine source. The pleasure comes from reflecting it out into the world and having it seen, shown back to you. Having it come to life. And then being able to experience intention and this beautiful creative eroticism in your sexual space. It enhances your pleasure there. So I hope this was beneficial, and I hope maybe a little light bulb or maybe changed your perspective on eroticism. I love learning about the erotic. I love learning about our connection to it and who we are and practices to connect to our eroticism. So the more that I learn, the more that I definitely want to share on this topic, because I think it's a super powerful idea that we've come to shun or has become taboo and totally unnecessarily, and we're not giving ourselves the opportunity to connect with this powerful energy. So leave comments down below so we can talk about it. Tell me your opinions of what you think or how maybe this changed your opinion of it. All my social media stuff is linked down below, as well as the other videos from Pleasure Talk Tuesday, and I really look forward for you to come back and check out the rest of the series. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope you're blessed wherever you are. Bye!